louder. So there are significant challenges facing the city in 2016 and thereafter. I want to point out, I know it's said a lot, that cities and municipalities and government structures need to be run like a business. Well, I have to respectfully disagree with that. A city is not a for-profit entity. A municipality must provide a certain base level of services and other requirements for its residents, irrespective of whether they can be paid for and irrespective of whether they make a profit or lose money. So to characterize a city as a profit and loss entity doesn't really get to the core of what a municipality really must do in order to operate to the best benefit of its residents. So we're not a business and we're not a financial institution. The problems are going to arise 16, 17, 19, and the years out, which I'm about to show you. One of the biggest things that we had to address were the subsidies at the recreation center. When the recreation center was built, there was a forecast that it could absorb about $250,000 in subsidies from the general fund and it would operate smoothly. Well, in the years before I took office, as demonstrated by the taller part of the red area at the bottom of the chart, we were running general fund subsidies anywhere from $414,000 to just under $400,000. So roughly about $1.2 million in those 3 years out of the general fund just to cover operating costs at the rec center. However, as a result of the general fund balance dropping to the low level that it did, and so precipitously, our Moody's bond rating was reduced from AA2 to AA3. We fell down one notch. This was as a result of a series of meetings and arguments and discussions that we had with Moody's. They were actually talking about dropping us even lower, but we were able to convince them that two things. We've added to our general fund balance and we are committed to finding additional revenue to enhance the bottom line. And so therefore, given the explanations that we gave to Moody's, they agreed to only drop us from AA2 to AA3. I don't know if you can read that, but we are still in that second tier. If you can't read it, I'll read it to you. It says, an obligor has, quote, very strong capacity to meet its financial commitments. It differs from the highest rated obligors only in a small degree. So Moody's still has us rated very high, but that's conditioned on those two things, that we will continue to maintain a strong general fund balance and we will continue to focus on finding ways to build up our revenue. Without those two things, we will no doubt see another drop in our Moody's bond rating, which affects our ability and cost to borrow, just like your credit rating. We did the debt restructuring, which I'm about to go into some detail with, basically taking advantage of the time value of money, pushing back some of our debt so that it didn't hit us up front, but recognizing that there's a price to pay that down the road. A little bit about the debt restructuring I mentioned. We hired a firm from Columbus, very well regarded, George K. Baum. We refinanced certain debt payments from the years, for that 17-year period between 2011 and 2028. This happened during the Benkowski administration in mid-2011, June, July of 2011. The total cost to the city of that 17-year restructuring is just under $1 million. However, there's always a but. This chart demonstrates the trend of all funds in the city, including the, let me go to the next slide and I'll come back to this one. By all funds, I mean the general fund, the special revenue funds, the debt service funds, capital project funds, enterprise funds, and trust and agency funds. We can go into some detail about that if you're interested, but the point here is, going back to that first chart, as you can see in the year 2012, the balance in all those combined funds was about $5.2 million. In 2013, it went up to about $7.5 million. And last year, we got it up to $10.2 million. So we had about $10.2 million, not just in cash reserves, but all funds. The prediction, however, because of ongoing expenses, and we know that the debt has to be paid that is coming due, the prediction is that at the end of 2015, that $10 million is going to turn into $7 million. And that is a bad trend. Unless we turn that around, that trend is going to continue in a negative aspect. And that's what this meeting is about, to make sure that we all understand that there is a finite point where this must be addressed. So for 2016, the sky is not falling, but there is more work to do. 2017, 18, 19 is going to be challenging. There's no doubt about it. We've been saying this all along, and it bears repeating yet again. We can get through this year fine. We don't want to get through next year without making some hard decisions about what we're going to do about revenue in Seven Hills.